No pounding paws, no eager, panting breaths disturbed the quietness. As he recovered his aching breath, he lifted his long neck and swiveled his head, blinking. Nothing. Unnerved, he shook out his plumage, letting the cool night air soothe his hot skin. He opened his bill to call to Flash, but his cry caught in his throat. Distantly came wild snarls, and then, horribly, a booming cry of terror. Its notes rolled across the dark plain, frantic at first, before dying to a despairing echo. Flash! Gangle beat his wings in agitation and began to lope once more across the savannah, toward that awful silence. His heart trembled in his ribcage. Would the shadow creatures bring him down too? He had to take the risk. He had to know if Flash was all right or if the worst had happened. Terror rippled through him. He could hear the flesh-eaters' triumphant snarls, but faintly, as if they were drawing farther away from him. As Gangle crested a low rise, the moon's silver light picked it out plainly. A tumbled mound of feathers on the earth. Slowing, Gangle approached his friend, his throat constricting. Flash lay lifeless on the sandy ground, his long neck twisted, one huge eye half open and glazed with terror. There was not even a breeze to ruffle his feathers. Gangle listened. There was nothing now. Not a breath or a paw step. The crickets and cicadas trilled their constant, monotonous song, but the predators were gone. Lowering his bill to prod gently at his friend, Gangle ached with grief and pity. Apart from a gash in his chest, Flash's body was unmarked. Uncomprehending anger stirred in Gangle's gut. Only kill to survive. That was the ancient, sacred rule of Bravelands. Everyone knew what it meant. Animals could kill to defend themselves and to eat, but nothing more. Yet Flash lay here, his life ripped away, and those creatures had done it only for the sake of killing. Does the code mean nothing now that we have no great parent? Shaking out his plumage, Gangle bent his head once more to his friends. His voice hoarse and cracking, he managed to hiss the traditional farewell. Now, Earth Runner, you will fly. Soar with the birds who went before you. He hesitated and whispered, I will miss you, Flash. Swallowing, he turned away. For all his friends joking, being faster than Gangle hadn't saved him. Why hadn't the predators chosen him, the weaker of the pair? Perhaps the Great Spirit had heard him after all. But that seemed a forlorn and guilty hope. More likely he'd simply been lucky, luckier than he deserved. What mattered, he reminded himself as he plodded sadly homeward, was that the nest was safe as anything could be, in a world without a great parent. Chapter 1. The mango tree had been a part of Thorn's life for so long, casting cool shade over the tall tree's clearing and bearing its prized fruits each year without fail. It's always so beautiful, thought Thorn. New mangoes glowed there now, their red and gold peeping out from the glossy splayed leaves. It should bring him contentment, he knew, but even as he gazed up at the bounty, his father's voice came to him across the years, gruff and wise. Remember, Thorn, the fruit is juiciest just before the rot sets in. Blinking, he turned away from the tree and rubbed his head hard. Last night's nightmare had been the worst one yet. He still felt dazed from its horror, and his nerves were raw. If only the dreams didn't feel so real. This time, he'd been an ostrich of all creatures, bounding across the plains under a stark and brilliant moon, a horde of shadowy predators at his heels. He hadn't been able to see them. He hadn't known what they were, but they had filled